My name is Lidiia. I'm 18 years old and I have a story. So many friends, they called me and they said, "Hey, are you okay?" People try to ask me what is going on, but because I was just praying like the night before, I was like, no, nothing's gonna happen. So it was like our hearts are too innocent. They were too innocent to believe in war. When I heard the next morning, I heard the sirens. I didn't really believe it because, yesterday we were praying in the evening. We were like, yay, everything's gonna be fine. We were just calm. And then I wake up and I hear a siren. And I'm like, no, this cannot be real. Zelensky's call to Ukrainian citizens, he sounded very scared and strict, and he said Russia has started war with Ukraine. You should go to your bomb shelter and you should hide because they detect by waves rockets flying. Later in the evening, my sister, she came with her husband. They already packed their bags. In her zone, they bombed the airport. She heard rockets. Pieces were just falling down. The night they were staying with us, that's when I heard bombs. You can hear it from the distance, and there was one that we both woke up from. And then we went to each other, we're like, did you hear it? And then she's like, yeah, I heard it. I was literally scared to die. Putin, he said that it's gonna be an operation and it's not gonna hit peaceful citizens. Soldiers who were training, they took their documents away and they just sent them to fight. And Ukrainians who are just angry and trying to, defend their land, they're like killing them and they don't know what's going on. Like, why are you guys angry at us? We're trying to liberate you. We're trying to help, but they think it's an operation. Nobody's dying, nobody is killed, nobody is harmed. And so there's Ukrainians who have peace with Russians, like with those people who have no idea what's going on. They give them the chance to call their parents just to say like, we are in war, They record them and they say, do you understand what's going on? Some people, they have no idea. Zelensky, the president, he gave many citizens guns so they can shoot. When we were going out from the border, we just saw so many young people with guns. And they have no idea what they're doing. There's no training. Curfew was at 10 p.m. You can't go outside. I'm not in a safe place, I'm at home, but it's really safe to be inside of a bomb shelter. We have a chat. And we were asking, how is everybody? If somebody's not picking up, where are they? Because they could be in danger. Because the missiles, they just send them. And none of us wanted to believe. We have to say goodbye like this. I wanted to stay in my brother's house. And because I knew we might leave Ukraine. We realized we needed to leave the country because my dad, he's Russian. My mom is Ukrainian. There was a time when we were in our uncle's house and some neighbor heard from my uncle that he's accepting many people, and I think he called the police secretly and they just came to his house and they said, how many people are in your house? Tell me or we will shoot. Because they have every right to. And so we realized it's not safe for my father to be inside of this place. Yeah, we just decided to flee. When we crossed the border, I realized that, this is it. And I was guilty that I left because I left my family. I felt, a lot of people, they stayed because they can't carry their family with them. It's a lot of elderly people. Ukrainian men, they can't really leave. For my uncle, for my other cousin who's 18, especially him, he's young, and they're gonna notice him and they're like, oh, let's take you to war. I felt like I'm leaving my family behind, and I just cried the most because I was really afraid for my great aunt, because she has only her husband. They can't really always walk to bomb shelter and back. They can't go to their farm and like make stuff because first it's cold, there's nothing to grow, and as well they're very fragile, and so I was mainly worried that we'll not see them again. That was like a heartbreaking moment. I started to appreciate relationships so much. I started all the problems with school, all the problems with I was like, man, all that's really important is life and how you live it and how you're like close with your friends and how, you know, life, you start to appreciate life and you start to appreciate, it was like, it was just like a time of peace. And we remember the date very clearly. And all the photos, they were just like peaceful time. And of course God was blessing very much. In my country there is no peace, and that there's a lot of pain in a lot of people's hearts. You just start to appreciate the little things, and you start to appreciate that when I went to Hungary, I just looked at this peaceful city. I was like, I was angry a little bit at people because they're just living such peaceful life, when in other countries people are just living with fear and scared to fall asleep, and every day is like a week-long wait to try to get water for those people who don't have it, try to provide food, especially in campus dorms. There was a shortage of food, and we have a sister who works in a pizza place, and she provided all her savings. We definitely have united through this. We started to appreciate people in the church that you don't really know, but you get to know them even more. I got to text a lot of my friends because people become human through this. It was just so many cases where there could be a neighbor just knocking on the door saying, I cooked some soup if you need anything. How you walk to the store and people sharing bread because we just know we're surviving together. And I think that's what's something that really inspires. Yeah. And then there started to be a lot of sanctions against Russia. First, Russia wanted to isolate itself with not having Instagram or Facebook, or and a lot of people complained about it. And I was like, we literally are afraid of dying, and you know, somebody can't go to Paris, or like they need to pay more for their gas, or for, well, literally somebody's home was destroyed, and like there was a nursing home that was exploded, and there was a bunch of mothers, bunch of just children, you know, and you can't describe it, just how all the problems that we complain about, they're nothing compared to people who are in danger. And it just made me more motivated to talk to people about life, and made me realize do I want to live? And what's my purpose of life? As a disciple, I feel so protected, and there were so many cases where we were in danger, and God just, I like the scripture how God just covers with his wings. And even those who are relatives of disciples, but disciples themselves, none of them were hurt. When I went to the church in Hungary, and I just looked at the picture of Christ, a painting of Christ, and I was like, if it weren't for him, we would kill each other already. But we're holding on to love, and and it reminded me the scripture that says, I have already won the world, and in this world you have trouble, wars, but just believe me that like what I've done is already enough. And I realized like, wow, because of Jesus, I'm saved and I'm safe spiritually, physically. And you just realize that it's not like everyday routine, like, oh, go pray and read the Bible. Like, no, God is actually protecting you from a rocket flying by. Что ж, ребята, я знаю, что я прошла не то, что большинство из вас могли пройти. Я не знаю, насколько я больше или меньше прошла, но я знаю, что мы все боремся вместе с этим всем, с злостью, со страхами, с грустью. И мы сейчас действительно, все, что у нас есть в руках, это только наша жизнь. И могу вам посоветовать и помочь. То, что мне помогло, это действительно сначала подумать, как я могу повлиять на этот мир и как я могу быть человеком, а не также быть машиной, которая полна злости и хочет. Поэтому я знаю, что лучше всего это, если мы действительно хотим победить, то я верю только с любовью. И начиная с себя, и ищите Бога, потому что Бог, Он точно вас услышит, и Он тот, кто всегда ждет вас, и кто никогда не будет менять сторону или предавать. Хоть у нас очень много боли в сердце, такое качество Христа, Иисуса, что Он уже сам это все прошел, и в Нем, как в чистом листе, ищите всегда любовь и спасение. И это самое важное в жизни, действительно, понять, что от вас хочет Бог, и Он ждет вас, поэтому